it's so fantastic to see so many people here. I mean, someone, I will not disclose his name, said, "Hell, Janine, you got a really big turnout." So anyhow, just thank you for making that happen. Thank you for supporting us. I'm Janine Finnell, Executive Director, Leaders in Energy. And we always find that when we talk about money, we get a lot of people coming to our events. So we are here to talk about financing a clean revolution. And I think our country was started on a revolution, wasn't it? So it's time for us to get that money. And how many of you have seen Alexander Hamilton? The musical. Okay, so you know the importance of Alexander Hamilton because he established the first national bank. You need a bank to pay for a revolution, and we need money to pay for a clean energy revolution. So let's bring it on. We have some fantastic people here. We've got Tom Dale. We heard him speak last year about how they're financing a green bank in Montgomery County. How much do you have? 14 million? Did you bring it with you? Okay. We have a connections hour where everyone wants to connect, so Tom, I hope you're going to stay around for that. But seriously, we're just so excited about what's happening in this country. And gosh, right in our own backyard, Washington, D.C. is the first city in the United States to create a green bank. And we've got one of our speakers right here to tell you all about it. So we are just, I mean, there's so much bad news. Did anyone read the Washington Post today? Do people still read the hard copy? I know my husband doesn't. I still get that hard copy. 3 articles on climate change, you know, how to tell your children about it. More Americans are starting to believe something's happening. Wildfires, all these other problems. And then there was something about how, hey, you think we're not paying a carbon tax? We are, because we're not doing anything. And how much is that costing? It's going to, you know, to just drive the country bankrupt. So anyhow, you can tell I'm fired up. I just love having you guys here, so many connections. So anyhow, I didn't tell Dave I was going to do this, but we're having a little contest here. I want to know, how many of you are in the Leaders in Energy community? Raise your hand. Okay. Dave, where's Dave? Oh, you're in the Leaders in Energy community? Okay. He made a very good point, and we'll get to that in a minute. How many of you are potential Energy DC members? Fantastic. That is great, and it's just wonderful to see you guys get. Now, this is what Dave raised his hand. How many of you are in both communities? Woohoo! Okay, fantastic. And how many of you are just totally new and wonder, who is this kooky lady? Okay, well, seriously, welcome. And we are here at Leaders in Energy working to build a community of leaders to advance clean energy and sustainable solutions for a more sustainable energy system, economy, and world. So we're really trying to do very serious work. And I know people sometimes said, Janine, you have all these events with beer and pizza. What are you really doing? And then I read John Hagel's book on the power of pull. He works at Deloitte, one of these great think tanks and everything. And he said, what we are doing is we are really developing creation spaces where we bring people together to interact, to accelerate the rate of learning and progress and connections. And that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, I was walking down the aisle. And what is your name? And they put him on the spot. Derek, it was fantastic. I said, what's your interest? You know, why did you come? He says, I'm interested in PV. Another woman was walking by. She said, were you just talking about PV? I said, you guys connect. So that's what we really like to do here, is to connect people for progress to really move us forward. So just real quickly, if you can go to the next slide. In terms of our mission, you know, I'll just fly through this. We have basically 3 of them. But I want to make the point that sustainable communities, we're really trying to just share success stories on how are other communities doing it all around the world and how can we lift all boats. And I'm putting Miriam Gennari on the spot here because I thought it was so fantastic that John Gaffigan in our group knew a business, a builder, in Arizona and connected Miriam, otherwise known as Styrofoam Mom, because she's very passionate. Many of you have probably seen her movie as well. But it's just wonderful that because of you know, John introducing you to that builder, I think he was in your movie, and you've been working with him on alternative building products made out of styrofoam.
He's nominated for 2 Oscars. Styrofoam, 2 Oscars.
Wow. Okay, a celebrity in our midst. That is fantastic. See, this is just great. Okay. And green economy and jobs. This event itself is an example of that. But in terms of green jobs, We do like training and green career workshops. Dr. Beth Offenbacher, maybe she can just stand up. She's done a bunch of green career workshops. We've done green career men to really help people find green jobs. Because if you're going to transform the economy, you've got to help people make a living. So we're really trying to kind of build an army of green talent to move into the green space. And we've trained over 100 people in regard to helping them move up or into green careers. Had over 500 people attending our Green Jobs event. And I'll say something a little bit later about that in our Connection Hour. I'm going to do a shout out for 5 people that have landed green jobs. I thought there were only 4, and then I remembered someone else who gave me his business card, so just really excited about that. Okay, and then lastly, multi-generational leadership. We believe all ages can play an important role in the green revolution. There's so much talent. We're living till 90. I mean, we have 11-year-olds coming up with straw campaigns. Hey, let's all get involved. When we had that 15-year-old out in Sweden that shut the schools down and said, hey, you big guys, how come you're talking about these things but you're not doing anything? So pretty impressive. I think that's about it for me. Just upcoming event, February 15th, we are going to rock it at George Washington University. We're doing an event both on women leadership, so if you want to hear women leaders in terms of how to propel your careers. In fact, I just have to say, there's someone here, we were both out at, 2 of us were out at Stanford at a women's symposium in December, so way cool that we meet each other again. In circular economy, that's another area that we're working in as well. We have a working group as well to close the resource loop and increase recycling.